offload, I thought we can't reach the material, there's no
Yeah,
crane that
you
can
gotta,
reach
you
it.
gotta have a path for your
Good thing.
semi to pick off for the crane to pick off of that, and then him to exit.
So real quick, is that an intersection right there on that logistics plan?
Yes, at the top, during this.
So the quiz
Go
is
back to
where's,
that, oh, it's not, you don't have it.
the quiz is where's the entrance and which one's the exit? I said quiz.
When it was explained to me, I think the entrance is right here and then exit
That's right, it was
here.
Tyler that was over this, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
and
okay.
so he explained it to me once, and so I think the idea was that they come in this way and exit right here.
Which is great, I like but think about northbound traffic, southbound traffic, and this is where you become a policeman, right? Kind of in your own head. And you think about, well, that intersection, if I had the entrance up there, I've got a truck that may be turning and trying to come in or whatever, think about that. So if the truck comes past the entrance or the exit, right, and then comes in the entrance and then comes out, then he's more in relationship to that intersection.
And I believe that is where the rail line goes. I don't think it's an actual.
Okay.
Well, no, there's,
Is there both?
It looks like
there's an
yeah,
intersection right there.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, that's both cars and rail there.
Just a thought, sometimes you're going past your exit into your entrance so that you're in line with.
Was there a page limit to the RFP?
Yes.
There was, okay.
Oh.
That's why the schedule's so small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, if there wasn't a page limit, I'd put it on 2 pages, just so you could read it, or 4 pages.
Mine's on 2, that's why I'm curious.
Mine's on 2.
But mine's on 8.5 by 11, so you're still better.
Oh, I need my glasses, I left them in my truck. Then I thought there was, I liked the video, I thought that was cool, but it was awkward silence.
Yeah.
That's
I was thinking that as well. I think we'll try to talk their
Talk
meeting
to
and
it.
explain what's
Yeah.
going on.
So I like what you were talking, while you were talking about schedule, I mean, I don't know if you do a 4D schedule and you could show the schedule as you're doing the fly through, or maybe while you're talking about some element of your presentation, have that rendering going through the video while you're talking about something. And while you're talking about schedule, it'd be cool to have that 4D, and I don't know, you don't have time to do everything. But anyway.
So I got a suggestion, so you both did it, you just did it at the wrong time. So go back real quick to that, so when the fly-through happened, right, and then go to the next slide. So now you hit the design, and you guys both start talking about elements of it.
Mhm.
Just talk about the elements.
While the
slides
design
go.
is going, slides.
So play this just real quick, play it, just, and so now we're talking about, okay, here we have exterior facade, we talked about
We
that.
talk about the curtain wall right here and the desert design, and I don't know if you could slow the video down a little bit while you're talking about some of the interior elements, or,
Yeah,
you know.
definitely.
This is where you become the salesman, the architect, the person bragging about, hey, look what I just put in. I put this kind of floating stair with this waterfall going down out of it, and
This grand atrium.
represents knowledge of students or whatever. You put your
Student
flower
gathering.
over it.
Yeah.
Another thing I would suggest, I'm not this is not even my world, I have no idea how you even did that.
That's why Tony went straight to the numbers.
But it would be really cool if you could take the ASU campus. I realize you only have a day and a night to figure this out, but I don't even know where you get those images, but to just put it out in the desert with some cactuses, you know, it would be better if it was right in the middle of the campus and you saw the other buildings around, but I don't know
Well, I'm
I don't know how
sure-
you model that, I have no idea.
I'm sure Google Earth already has.
Google Earth has.
Is that how you
can
can
do
just
something like
plop
that
that in?
now,
I don't know.
so
Yeah.
Yeah.
No Brad Garrett.
Anyway, I'm speaking to something I know nothing, I've never done it, I don't even, but I see it, I see other
But you are the owner, and that's what they want,
Yeah.
so okay, because that's a wow, an owner, or let's say, sell it to the owner,
Yeah.
and that's,
But
that's
that
kind
kind
of
of
what you like to
imagery
see.
It's always impressive, it's always.
Yeah.
It
It might take months to do that, I don't have no idea, so maybe you don't have time in the 20 hours you have.
So to Tony's point, actually, so if we were to go through every slide real quick, if you were to go and I think there can be elements that you can put in there, pictures, that are literally just copy paste. So you have your template already established, and now you're just taking whatever they give you for the RFP and you're just dropping stuff in, right? So then it makes it more, oh, okay, it makes it more,
Right.
I mean, because yeah, we're about the numbers, but at the same time, I'm about, hey, sell me, like,
Right.
show me that I really want to be part of this.
It's a dog and pony show.
It is.
On your introductions, I thought it would be good to put your pictures and faces with your titles and your names up on the screen. You've got it in the RFP response. And sometimes what we do is because it's buried and people don't really, yeah, I can't even find it right now. I know it was in here. Sometimes we hand out a placemat and we just give them this. So that while you're presenting, and I couldn't remember what your position was. Oh, you're the project manager. Okay. So that's just always a nice.
I think to Greg's point too, the placemat is there because really you're marketing your building, you're marketing your project, you want to win, but what's the goal?
Get them to market you.
You want to market, you want a job, right? And so, yeah, give them a placemat, give them something to sell you at.
Another thing with the personnel, and I realize that you're limited on the number of people on your team, but to the owner, one of the key people in the whole project is who's going to actually run the job out on the site, how much experience do they have, and maybe you don't have enough, there's 6 of you, right? So, but you all had a really key piece, so don't skimp on any of those, but.
Who's your superintendent?
Yeah, that's what I was getting at, who's your superintendent, because you guys are awesome at all this preliminary stuff, but the person who's gonna make it happen is the superintendent and his people, the project engineer on site and the project manager, and you have some of those key elements, but.
I think you could even make somebody up.
Yeah, you
Put
could.
them in there. Just make it as a, I don't know.
But maybe you have some advice.
As far as making somebody up, I would say stick with the 6, because they know that you're 6 people max on
But
it.
you've got 2 estimators.
But I would
You've got a
promote
pre-construction
your-
manager and an estimator.
Yeah,
They just
promote
have one
either estimator or
the other one be a
guy, or
superintendent.
you're a project engineer right now, let's
Yeah, I
promote
can-
you. You could be a superintendent. Why not?
Congratulations.
You've been promoted.
Yeah, and I'd call him a general superintendent on a project
Yeah,
this big. You're gonna
that's
have
good.
a general superintendent plus a couple other superintendents.
Okay.
You're gonna have a superintendent over the structure, you're gonna have a superintendent over the skin, you're gonna have a superintendent over all finishes, something like that.
So one of the items you talked about in the very beginning, you talked about safety, and I want to just give you a couple of tips. So we talked about conflicts, right? We were talking about 2 cranes, we were talking about working exterior, all that kind of stuff. When we're working elements outside, I wanted to see as an overall comment for the whole presentation is give me some specifics. So I'm going to give you some, and then you can use those. Overhead work, so when you're working on the outside, it's, yeah, I need 2 cranes because I don't want somebody else working below somebody else in case they drop something on somebody else, right? So I brought my safety aspect, which you mentioned in the beginning, into a specific item in my conflicts that I think you mentioned, somebody said, I can't remember, but you can look at the video. It said conflicts, right? And it's like, well, what are those conflicts? Tell me about them. It's overhead work, and it would be damaging of other trades. I think you were talking about copper elements and all that kind of stuff, and that's probably where that comment came to me, is thinking about protecting people's work, but safety is the overlying, so you're bringing both those things as you're working about conflict, right? There was one item where you talked about, in the estimate, you said, we added these items, and it was also, we found savings and we wanted to add it to your building. Make up some specific items. We added a waterfall, we added glass on the railing, we added whatever. Just sell me, that's where you get the market again, and give me some specifics, not just saying, we saved you money and we spent it. Well, cool, what'd you give me? Nothing, or I can't tell you, or whatever. Lead, the same thing. Give me some examples. Like, we can get to platinum, how?
Yeah.
And give me some dollar amounts. Okay, to get to platinum, hey, it's gonna cost you $100,000.
But you have the 5 points to
You
get
get buy-in.
to get it.
Just examples, I guess that's kind of the
I
overlaying.
think
arch.
Tyler kind of had that prepared, but I
Yeah.
didn't know what we were talking about.
In these competitions, is the lead really critical, like the
In this competition, design build, yes.
Okay.
And Chris has been in the past, he can speak to that. What
Yeah, so last year, that was one of the big things that they asked for in the deliverables. They wanted to see, we want a gold, lead gold, what does it take to get to be platinum? Give us dollar amounts, give us what you would do,
All right.
kind of a value engineering point. So it was a big element of it.
What's interesting about that is that, I worked on City Creek, and so did Jacobson, but when we started that job, it was important to get these certifications. But that was, 10 years ago that we started that, or, well, it was more longer than that, it was like 15 years ago. And today, at least on campus, we don't really care about that because we know how much it costs. we just have a standard. So that's good that it's part of the RFP, because then you need to hit on it, you need to do what you were going to do, have a whole sheet on it and talk about it.
A design with lead in mind,
Yeah.
lead
Yes,
principles.
but to us up there, lead is not important on campus, and I don't know, you guys are all over the Intermountain, how important is it here? We don't need to dwell on it,
At
but.
Terra, they do lead, same thing as BYU, it's the lead concepts without paying the money.
Developers like having a,
Without paying the money for a certificate.
yeah, developers like having a lead certified building just so that they can, it's the buzzword and,
Yeah.
and they can sell it.
But back to that, give some examples, give some dollars. This is what it took to get to gold, this is what it will take to get to platinum. The same thing, we talked about, like, at the end, you guys start doing your, I'm gonna call it the marketing pitch, right? Where you start talking about the building, wide hallways, you know, offices up on the third floor. Maybe, like I said, throw some pictures on there of just some whatevers to make your slide look a little bit better. And you could even, like we talked about this, slow this down or whatever, but when you do it at the end, just have some pictures. And when you say a hallway is wider, give me a dimension. If you add in
Or is
these
that
little
the most
specifics.
important element of the building, or why not talk about, the most important element of a bioengineering building would probably be their labs, right? Or I'm not sure what bioengineering does, but
But learn about it.
there's more in there than hallways and lobbies, right?
But I love the numbers, you guys threw the numbers out there because that's, you met the RFP requirement, right? And just give some specifics of, I don't know, it's, you're trying to wow, you're trying to throw that wow factor in there. So see if you guys come up with the marketing strategy for that too.
Okay. Yeah,
It's hard. Sorry.
No, pick and do it. This is,
We
we want it
want
more.
it.
Don't feel like you're, oh
Yeah.
crap, saying a bunch of negative stuff.
They'd rather have it all right now,
Yeah.
instead of when they get there, like, God, I wish we would've known that.
Yeah,
And then not place
exactly.
them, and it's just
There's a
like.
minor thing on your schedule. Know what day March 29th falls on. For instance, it falls on Friday. You're never gonna mobilize on Friday. It's the end of the week.
Be Monday.
People are ready to go home at 1 in the afternoon on Friday. So just know the dates of what day of the week those fall on. And you know what, they're not gonna get into the weeds of that, but.
Did you look that up, or did you just?
Yeah, I did. Anyway, so.
You guys have any questions for them as you're putting things together, things you were stuck on, or, you know, resources that you can go to? What are your questions for these guys?
I did have a couple of questions on this site, and just explain. I didn't design it, but we'll make sure to do it in the future. You mentioned the dumpsters. Where would be a better place to put them? Is that a good location, just moving them farther away from the building, or should they be more central?
Yeah, I think if you just push them down to the bottom of the page.
Bottom of the corner.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna have
Get away from
forklifts
that.
going around and lifts, and you just need to get to the side, to all of that
Yeah,
stuff.
put them side by side, just like this, right at the back, and then they need to have room so a guy can come and grab it.
truck.
and-
Okay,
If I were to add one thing, I'd add a trash chute.
okay.
Yeah, good idea.
So if I put it on there, put trash chute, and you think about how that dumpster, how that garbage gets from third floor down the trash chute into a dumpster below,
Yeah.
and then drives out.
So maybe it's one dumpster next to the building for that purpose, but I don't think that trash chute is there until finishes, well,
Right.
into finishes.
That's right.
If you were to get really picky, I know you can design all your templates now, which is kind of the hint that I'm giving you, is if you were to take those dumpsters, you could actually put on there, this is our steel dumpster,
Okay, so
This-
label what materials.
For lead.
for the,
Okay.
this is our drywall dumpster, this is our wood dumpster. I mean, so the quantity is fine, it's, you're being specific as to why the quantity is there.
Okay, and we did go into that thought process, but we'll make sure to label that. And then one other question, with the trucks, so you mentioned having like an actual pathway. I'm now remembering that the idea was that the trucks will pull in and then we'll have a forklift come and lift the materials off and take it to
Yeah,
the storage
yeah.
place. Is that a good approach?
Is that
Yes,
realistic?
for sure.
Okay.
You won't do
So
that
reaching
with,
with the crane, not as much a critical thing, or is that?
it is for certain activities.
Yeah, I get your mechanical equipment, you'll probably just pick it right off. I mean,
So it's steel.
some stuff you'll pick right off. I mean, steel, you could use a forklift, but you're never gonna get a truck and pull it in and pull it out. I don't know if that's,
Gang, thanks.
Why
He's
not?
got
See ya.
class.
yeah.
Anyone else
That's
have class
good.
right now?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
That's very helpful, thank you.
It's easier for a truck to turn around, I think.
And if you could say that, you know, it's a tight campus, right? Small place. So we're gonna say, hey, if you could just put in one little element to like wow them a little bit, say, we have scheduled deliveries, or we are doing just-in-time deliveries, or something like that.
And yeah, page limit's tough, but a lot of times I'll try to, like this might be a right in, right out, because you're concerned about this intersection, and then you have a path coming to campus. How is our traffic gonna get to campus without disrupting the public? And so we feel like these are the main arteries into campus, and the flow into the construction site, and how we're gonna.
To Greg's point, if you could literally drop this down and you could add just a little window of a zoomed out view to say, my trucks are normally gonna come from I-15, they're gonna make this way, You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And a muster point typically is still on your site.
What does that mean? I don't even know.
In case of an emergency, if there's a fire or an
Okay.
earthquake or something, you'll muster, you'll gather. It's a gathering point. Probably just outside the construction trailers.
Yeah, I would say that it needs to be over here. That's what it's for.
Because if it's over here, you got a
Traffic.
8-foot fence or something, whatever they require, and 6-foot fence at least. You can't get there.
You want it to be closer to your job trailer so that the people are coming to you rather than you having to go find them.
You can count, people.
All right, looks like we're 8 o'clock. Thank you so much for being here.
Good job, guys.
What these guys could really use is a lot of things that you've said. They've been standing up here, and I kind of wish they were down here able to write some notes and things.
You're still recording, I
But
guess, right?
are you still recording? That's great. Any kind of, for example, the estimate, I know this is time from you, but it would be greatly appreciated if you can just look at that and go, this is the percentage we normally see on that, or this is this price per square foot for the engineering building, this is what we got. This is what portion was, there's some specifics we talked about, they're not coming to my mind right now. And that's my concern, it won't come to their mind either. Now, we talked about that, and they said a certain percent, and I can't remember what it
I
was.
thought you were writing that down.
I was trying.
So I can give you this, but
This is me.
I can't give you actual numbers from engineering.
Oh, no.
But I can.
When
this
I'm
has
saying actual
percentages.
numbers from engineering, just say, it should be around this percent.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
I've been throwing out numbers, Tony's gonna grab me afterwards and say, you're not supposed to.
No, we're okay. I can give you this though, and I have percentages of what it should be, or what we would see.
Great.
So on your general conditions, we don't ever charge for project executive, and if that's all a project executive makes, I would quit.
Well,
So-
you said 0, we don't charge for them, so.
Yeah.
But if that's what they charge, you would quit.
And let's see, I don't know, I can't, I think you had $5,000 you got,
I think the executive.
oh, you got
have meant
15,000 a
five.
month, oh, okay. Well, that's probably not.
They could stay on at that point.
Yeah.
Good thing you consider.
I was thinking 5,000 a month for some reason. So we don't charge for an executive, you got one project manager, you only have him for 5 months. Your project manager is gonna be on an $83 million project, 100% full-time. And
He's gonna be there.
you've got one superintendent, 2 engineers. I think you need 3 superintendents and probably at least 3 engineers. You've got a pre-construction manager, so you're charging for your pre-con, and that's fine. And we usually break that out as a separate cost as part of your pre-construction fees.
You're writing those things down as you.
But yeah, we can go down through some of the numbers and give you some feedback. Like your crane, you've got a 40-ton crane truck and a 135-ton crane truck. I don't know if so your 40-ton crane is $50,000 a month, but your 135-ton crane is $10,000 a month. I think you got those opposite.
Probably down backwards.
And you might consider tower crane, which is probably more like $65,000 a month. So,
On a project like this where it's a campus, would you be nervous about using a tower crane?